Hi, I'm Lance Lambert. Thanks for tuning into the Vintage Vehicle Show. We are in Edmonds, Washington at the Lynnwood Rotary Classic Car Show, a great car show held every year here at Edmonds Community College. We're going to do what we do every week. You're going to see some great cars, meet some really nice people, hear some great music. So do what I tell you to do all the time. Just kick back, relax, and enjoy the show. Very long-time viewers of the Vintage Vehicle Show will recognize this car because we debuted this car, Mr. Steve Bender's 1957 Chev. When was that?
January 2001.
And what did we look at that point?
Well, the car was finished then, and you'd already done an episode about when the car was being built. And we had a kind of a coming out party, and you came down and filmed it at the shop where we built it.
And then you went on to pick up just a couple minor awards here and there, right?
Well, right after that, you know, the next week, you and I went to the Grand Nationals, and that's where the car actually was seen by the public for the first time.
where it won the highest honor that a car can win at the Grand National. It wasn't obviously not the America's Most Beautiful Roadster, but
Yeah, they call it the Sweepstakes Custom. That's the top custom award there. And that was just beyond my expectations. And as you know, it went on for 2 years to continue to do those indoor shows and received many similar awards.
what's underneath the hood on this? What's the running gear?
502, Chevrolet 502, 500 some odd horsepower, fuel injected, runs through a 6-speed transmission, all Corvette suspension.
And the interior on this, the joke about Steve's car is the leather inside all came from the same herd of cows, is it?
Yeah, they came out of Scotland. And this is a true fact. The joke comes later, but the fact is there is a place in Scotland that raises cattle specifically for top upholstery jobs. So there's no barbed wire, nothing they can scratch themselves on. But the joke is it's 14 virgin cow hides. It used to be 15, but one of them got out one night.
Fell by the wayside.
Exactly.
I think the automotive hobby, when they think of icons of specific cars, they think of 32 Fords, they think of 40 Fords, and they think of 57 Chevs. Why do you think the world has nonstop been crazy for 57 Chevrolets?
Well, two things. If you take a look at all 57 cars, almost every 57 automobile in America had some great lines and great designs in 57. And the 57 Chevy just was the epitome. After the 55, the 56, and then they put the fins on, and it was such an interesting new car, and it's just really held up to the test of time.
Lots of offers to travel around the country with this car, I know. What the future plans do you have going on with this?
Well, I was on the road for 2 years, and after I finished the first year, I had an offer to go to Scandinavia and tour the car with John D'Agostino. And I declined because I wanted to come home and do some of the shows around here. So after the first 2 years, it's out of the trailer, I drive it, not very far, but I actually do drive it. I do small shows like this, and I kind of enjoy being outside with it.
Have you gotten over the fact that at the Seattle Roadster Show a couple years ago, I beat you in your class?
You are really bringing up memories here, Yeah, you did, and I was so embarrassed that I just had to take this puny old solid silver cup they gave me and just kind of go out the back door, just so in embarrassment.
We were in the same category, which my 58 Rambler won, so this 57 Chev lost to a 58 Rambler, and he had to settle for some goofy-looking spittoon that was the Seafair Cup, and allegedly the highest honor at the Seattle Roadster Show that this car could win.
Actually, the second. There's the Gold Cup is ahead of that. But maybe you could tell your viewers how many cars were in the class that you won.
Steve, it's been great having you on the show. Thank you very much, and
so.
A beautiful car. Marty DEGRAZIA, I love 54 Chevrolets, I love convertibles. You have a combination of the two. This is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
I know you've had this for a long time. You've been working on it forever. You're one of the local boys here in the Northwest, so I have a little bit of a history on this car. What does it feel like to get it to this point, and what did it start out looking like?
There was no rust on it, but it was, all the corners were dinged up. It was driven by a little old man. When I called him up to ask him about the car, I said, I thought you were the original owner. He says, oh, no, I've only had the car since 1956. So, but my brother's a body man, a good body man.
So you got the good brother discount on it.
Yes, I did.
You decided to go all stock on this. Looks like you put a few accessories here and there, but no airbags, no drop to the ground, no 350 Chev in it?
No, it's really hard to keep it all stock, but with eBay, I find all the things that help me out.
Driving around a 54 Chev convertible, what kind of reaction do you get from the general public?
Thumbs up. It was kind of weird when I first got the car. All of a sudden, when I got it all fixed up, I thought, I'm in. I belong to the club now. All of a sudden, I'm accepted. 54
Chevrolets, for a long time, they've always been admired by the hobby, but they're not 55, 6, or 7 Chevs. They weren't in that league. Then something has changed in the last 5 to 10 years to where, especially convertibles on this body style, especially the Bel Air, of course, just gorgeous cars. Why do you think they went from being a popular car to an immensely popular car?
They're beautiful when they're done right. I don't think all the stock colors were great colors, and people are changing the colors, and a lot of them are modified, but they're a beautiful car. Lots of chrome. They were always one of my favorites. My first car was a 54 four-door.
Well, in closing, what's the best thing of owning a 54 Chevrolet?
I guess the attention. I like the attention. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
When we sit in our garages and admire these cars, when there's nobody else around to admire us for owning these cars, and the love and the passion is still there when it's just you in the car, I think that's a proof of a real car person.
Yeah, I still can't believe this car is mine. When I see it in the garage, I just can't believe it's mine. It's what I always wanted.
Well, thanks for sharing it with us, and gorgeous car, Marty.
Thank you very much, Lance.
John Harwood, you have an absolutely beautiful 1936 Ford. Is this a Roadster or a convertible? What is this?
It's a Roadster.
And what makes it a Roadster as opposed to a convertible?
The Roadster has, well, the windshield is completely different, where it has a post and the windshield actually tips out. The dash, the doors, convertible Cabriolet, which they call them, have rolled-up windows. Roadster does not have rolled-up windows on it. It has side curtains, which I carry in the back rumble seat area and try not to use them. But basically, it's just a completely different look, the Roadster is, which I prefer.
It's not really altered on the outside that much from stock, but it looks like a real traditional hot rod. What are the styling things that you've done to it to give it that look?
Well, the styling it's what I like, but I had a lot of people that, my styling came from, which is my father, an uncle that was like my second father. We did a lot of cars and hot rods and have helped each other and just good friends. And it's just the look that I've acquired from other people and things that I like myself. And when I go to car shows like this, I look at everything there. I like all cars, but you get different ideas from people and what you like to look at. And this is what I've come up with, and this is my version.
I'm not seeing one of Henry's flatheads in there. What have you got for running gear on it?
No, it's a 350 Chevrolet, 350 Trans, Ford 8.7 rear end. It has tri-power. The motor's been bored. It has Mustang suspension, disc brakes. So you can go across country or, wherever you want at 60, 75, and it cruises and drives very nice. And it just makes it updated, so it is very dependable, but yet still has the old nostalgia look to it.
I go to a lot of car shows around the country. There are a lot of cars there that are loved by the owners, but there are certain cars that always elicit a reaction. You might have a group of people might be standing around at a car show, and certain cars will drive by coming into the show, and people may or may not even take the time to look at them or look long at them. A car like this, and I've seen it happen with you and this particular car, people stop the conversations, they turn, and they just watch the car go down the street. What's the magic there?
The magic is the look of the car, the color of the car. I mean, it could be so many different things. It just hits somebody's heart from a certain era, and they just love it. And I've had more than once that people love this particular color, which is Washington blue. And I can look at other cars that are, absolutely gorgeous, whether they're beautiful black or greens or whatever. But this color catches their eye for this particular car. Anyhow, I've been told that, and it does it for me. So it seems to do it for a lot of other people.
Well, it does it for me, and I bet it does it for the viewers too. So, John, thank you for being on the Vintage Vehicle Show, and this is a very nice car.
Thank you very much, Lance. I appreciate it, and also I appreciate what you do for all of us car guys.
Jim Nichols, I love cars that are a little bit different, ones that you don't see all the time. A 54 Plymouth definitely fits into that category. 54 Plymouth Belvedere Convertible. What a special car. You don't see this at car shows very often.
No, it's really a rare breed. They just weren't survivors. And this car was pretty short of being a survivor.
What did you have when you started?
Well, I had a car that was very rusty. I bought it out of Oregon, and the guy told me it was a very rusty car, but it was all there. went down, got it, didn't pay that much for it. It was kind of a real challenge to see if I could do it, put the car together, and basically I bought a solid four-door sedan. It was all banged up and that sort of thing, but the parts were good. About half the car has been replaced. Pretty much everything below the belt lines here has been cut out and replaced. It was just a really fun thing. It took me about 6 years to do it. And I managed to find a original 54 motor for it with overdrive and rebuild all that and put in it. And it just turned out really great. I think we finished it in '99, and wife and I got in it to see what it was like to get an old car on the road, and we drove it to Colorado, the first Good Guys meet that they had down there, and it was a blast. We didn't pass anybody. You know, we just got out there and putted along.
Reproduction parts, new old parts for 55, 6, 7 Chevs are out there. For Mustangs, you can get anything you want. For a 54 Plymouth, do you just get lucky? You go on the net and find it there? Or?
You better not buy one unless it's pretty much all there. This car was all there. There was a couple of pieces of stainless that was pretty bad that I was able to replace. Other than that, all the stainless, we just refurbished it, straightened it, and put it on. Engine parts, mechanical parts, that's not a problem. But body parts are just, it took me a year and a half to get a quarter panel that I needed because I couldn't find one. Found it down in California, finally in a wrecking yard.
These in 54, they have a flathead 6 in them, right?
Right, correct.
What kind of power does that put out? Horsepower, cubic inch, and is it adequate?
You know, I don't know what the cubic inch is. They had two different sizes. One had the high drive and the automatic, and where this was just a flathead 6 standard. So it was the lesser of the two. That's one of the reasons they didn't survive, because they're just underpowered. They take off in the line okay and that sort of thing, but they don't climb hills. You know. Now this one's got dual carbs on, high compression head, and dual exhaust, and it goes up pretty much anything.
Jim Nichols, thank you very much for telling us about your 54 Plymouth. It's beautiful.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
We have had such a good time here in Edmonds, Washington at the Lynnwood Rotary Classic Car Show. Nice cars, nice people. We hope you had a great time, and we will see you again next time. See you then. Bye-bye.